Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. And I've got to say I'm delighted to be joined by the man himself, Scotland's only three-weight world champion, Ricky Burns. Ricky, listen, first and foremost, man, before I get going, how are you, man? Good to see you again.
I know, Joe, I'm all good. Training away. We're get down to Newcastle this morning. Obviously, press conference done. Get this weigh-in out the way tomorrow, and then I can look forward to the good bit, getting out here and putting on a good performance on Saturday night.
Talk about performance. I do want to go back 2 years ago. That post-fight interview that I did with you after the Lee Selby fight, I got a lot of credit for it, and so did you and yourself, the way you handled yourself in the interview. It was a very emotional interview for yourself. Just going back to them 2 years in that interview and how emotional you were, did you look back at that interview and how did you feel when that got released and stuff like that?
No, Joe, I think I watched it once, but I couldn't watch it anymore, man, because it's like, at that point in time, I did not know what was going to happen. It was like when people were talking in the build-up to that fight, that all I was getting out of people was, oh, you're 38 now, talking about retiring, and I'm fighting Saturday, and you're going on about all this, do you know what I mean? And it was just that, a number of things like that. It's like, as soon as that fight got announced that he had won, which I didn't think he did, that all that was going through my head. I felt as if I was trying to obviously getting forced out the sport. And I've always said I want to go out on my terms, and obviously first fight in over 2 years, and we're here 2 days away, and I'm just really excited to do it. Massive thank you to obviously Probellum, MTK for making this happen. Thanks very much, man.
Well, that's 2 years later, over 2 years later, you're back in the ring. There was a little stop-start. You were getting offered fights in Tennyson and all this sort of stuff, but did you ever think that you're on Facebook? Look, there's your face behind you, look. Did you ever think that handsome face would be on a poster again, a fight poster again, after that Lee Selby fight?
No, Joe, well, I had never had any doubts that I didn't want to fight again. I'd say after, in May there, when the Tennyson fight fell through, that for me, that was a low point, because I didn't know not what was going to happen. Obviously, I felt as if I was getting messed about a lot with fight dates and stuff, and obviously I just felt as if I wasn't getting enough time to prepare for that fight, and that was a fight that I was confident in winning, but it just wasn't enough time to get ready. Obviously, I had to find a new training team in that as well. Obviously, I've teamed up with Barry, Kev and Gary at Care Hardy, training alongside Mark McKeown, and it's been great. I'm based at home now. Gym's only 15 minutes from my house. Obviously, I've been getting loads of sparring in with Lewis Ritson for the last 5-6 weeks. Both of us been travelling back and forward to Newcastle, so all good.
Ricky, you mentioned your age, 38. I'm not going to mention retirement, fuck that, I'm not going to do that, but you're 38, you've had 53 professional fights? 50. This is the 53rd, so your 53rd fight coming up. You fought Crawford, Beltran, Crawler. You fought some tough names in the sport. Where does the hunger come from? Where does the enjoyment come from? Where does the love of the sport come from? Because a lot of people might think, oh, I'm done after all these fights, but you seem fresh as a daisy.
Nah, Joe, I just love it. It's like, Joe, I think I was 12 when I started. Joe, what else am I going to do? Obviously, there is other options out there for me, but Joe, I don't kid myself on. I know a year or two maybe left fighting. I said that before the Lee Selby fight, but obviously COVID messed that up. So from now, possibly a year or two, we'll take it a fight at a time and see how we go. But boxing is too hard a sport to do if you didn't enjoy it. Obviously, all this dieting and forcing yourself out of bed in the morning. You mentioned that a couple of people did it when they see my Instagram posts and stuff, doing the track at fucking 6:30 in the morning. Pitch black, freezing, raining, and I'm out there doing 10 800 metres or 12 400s, do you know what I mean? If I didn't love it, I would not be putting myself through that, do you know what I mean? So I know myself when it's time to call it a day.
We spoke a little bit off camera, and I mentioned there that I've been to, I would say at least 20 of your fights. 20 of your professional fights, I would say at least. Back in the days when you fought Alex Arthur and all that, back in the early days and stuff. I've never seen you hurt. Beltran with a broken jaw maybe, and you were down and stuff like that, but you were never wobbled, you were never staggered on your feet, you were never hurt to the stage where if you did go down, you got back up, then you would get stopped. But you said you know yourself. If that ever happens to you, is that when that point you said to me, if I ever get hurt where I'm thinking I'm done, I won't even get back up, I'll take a knee and that's me done retiring. Again, where does that punch resistance come from then? Do you honestly know where that comes from, and do you think that you will retire once that happens?
Nah, well, do you know, to be fair, obviously, like I said, the amount of fights that I've had, and I've said this before I was world champion as well. The first time I came out of ring, because when you see fighters coming out, eyes busted up, eyes swelled up, can't see. You know, all the fights I've had, that has never ever happened to me before. And you know, if ever it did, that's when me myself, I'd know, right, I'm done. Because as much as you're going to get hit, I want a limit to how much I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? So like I said all along, first time that ever happens to me, if I go out here on Saturday night and I come out the ring, even if I won and my face was in a state, I'm done. I'm not putting myself through it. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a good attitude to have, because you would know yourself, especially in sparring, if you were taking too many punches, or if you were in these hard spars and you weren't turning up the next day to do it again, or if you were pulling out and stuff like that, making excuses not to go to the gym, you would know yourself. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the fights. So let's just go on with it.
You're a madman if you still enjoy it at that age. I'm the same age as you, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to get hit in the face anymore. You mentioned you're going to stay down at lightweight. So what is the goal for you? You are Scotland's only 3-weight world champion, multiple world champion. So what is the goal now that you are saying 1 or 2 years left in the sport? So what is the end goal for you?
Do you know, we'll just take it. We'll take it a fight at a time. Obviously, I don't want to go and say I want to do this and want to do that, because I've always said I'm always be real to myself, and I'll never ever mouth off say I'm going to do this and going to do that. We'll take it one fight at a time, and we'll see what fights come along. But obviously I need to go out here on Saturday, put on a good performance, most importantly get the win, and we'll take it from there.
I do want to mention back. It seems to be Scotland always has that one superstar in boxing. You can go back to Ken Buchanan, then you can go to Jim Watt, Scott Harrison, Alex Arthur, Scott Harrison, Ricky Burns, now Josh Taylor. So, Mark, you mentioned Mark McKeown is a good little talent. We do have Lee McGregor as well, there or thereabouts. Do you think we'll ever see in Scotland multiple world champions at the same time? We always have had that stop. But for you, as a boxing fan and obviously a proud Scotsman, do you think we will ever see that the multiple world champions at Scotland at the same time?
Well, Josh Taylor is on. He could very well move up to welterweight now and win a world title. I've no doubt about that. He's been doing so well, and he's flying the flag. And obviously he was meant to be boxing in December, and there was talk about me being on that undercard as well, which I was getting excited about. Obviously they've moved his to February now, and Joe, I wish him all the best in that. He's doing brilliant, man. Magic.
There was talks back in the day, I remember when he fought, was it I don't know, there was a fight you were ringside for, and he came over to you and says, "You're next." I mean, back in the day, did you ever think, what would you it's hard to explain this. I asked this question then, what would happen if you fought Josh Taylor? I mean, it's a fight that I would, back when he'd done that, I can't remember what fight it was, but he did ask you for a fight and that you were next and stuff like that. But did you ever envision that Josh would be this good and become an undisputed champion at that stage?
I can always remember sparring with him. I can't remember what fight it was, but do you know what a spar it was we had, by the way, and I'm like, he's fucking good, by the way. But no, see, when you watch him, when you've watched him progressing through his career, every time he stepped up, man, he delivered the goods, man. Unified champion, join. He's got a big fight coming up soon, which I'm confident he's going to go out there and get the win. Obviously talks about fighting like Terence Crawford and stuff like that. It's been fights like that have been getting spoke about, which he's more than capable of winning as well. Just needs to go out here and obviously get this next one out of the way, and then it's up to him what he does. I know he wants a big fight at Edinburgh Castle, so Josh Taylor against Terence Crawford, man, that could pull in the big numbers for that.
You spotted Josh. You've actually fought Terence Crawford as well a long time. I think it was 2014. How do you think Josh will fare against somebody like Crawford? Because Crawford right now is probably that 1 and 2 in pound for pound list. So how do you think he will fare?
I know, Joe. I've said it all along. Like, technically, Terence Crawford was like the best person that I've ever shared the ring with. But Joe, like I said, every time Josh they've tested him, he's passed it with flying colours. So you've got to give him his due, man. If he against Terence Crawford, man, you'd pick him and come out winning.
There you go. That you've heard it from Ricky Burns himself. Ricky, you're facing Dominguez on Saturday night, an opponent I've seen once when he fought Sean McComb out in Belfast. He dropped Sean McComb a body shot. tough opponent for yourself after being 2 years out in the ring. So what can the fans in the North East, and the Scottish fans and the UK fans, British fans, what can they expect from Ricky Burns on Saturday?
Do you know, I've said to people have asked, have you been watched much of him? Do you know, I watched a wee clip, but I've not really watched that much. Do you know what I mean? I'll always say, let them worry about me. Like I said, I will go out here. Main thing is go out, enjoy myself, get the win, put on a good performance, and we'll take it from there. But it's going to be a good night of boxing. Obviously some cracking fights on the card. I'm looking forward to, obviously, the gym mate Mark McCART, looking forward to him fighting as well. He's one to watch. So it's going to be
I remember he fought Brad Dawes an MTK show in Bolton, an undefeated fighter, 6-0. Mark was only in his third fight. This was his third fight, and he stopped Brad and put in he's definitely one to watch, especially in a featherweight division right now, which is stacked.
Do you know, that was when I was actually helping Mark out for sparring for that fight. That was how I got to meet, obviously, his training team, and that's obviously what has brought me to join them as well. So, but Sparky, man, look at Mark McCART, keep an eye on him.
There we go. Rick, I won't keep you much longer, my man. Go and enjoy the rest of your day here. I'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow. Still at lightweight, which is I was going to say, I remember the old Ricky Burns dry face, but listen,
might be looking a bit thinner tomorrow, but we'll be back to normal for Saturday.
There you go. As long as you're back to normal Saturday, that's the main thing. Ricky, good to see you, my man. Looking forward to seeing your fight, and like I say, hopefully it's the first of many for 2022.
Thank you.
Cheers, Ricky.